Oh my god. I'm just gonna open this menu so I have a moment to talk. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Holy shit. Hi! Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Oh my god, I'm literally shaking. Oh, the last 20 minutes leading up to this launch. Oh god, it's like hitting my stomach. The anticipation for this has been something else I've never felt before. I'm almost at tears already, and I haven't even started. But whoever you are, if you're watching this right now, thank you for coming with me on this journey. Let's get into it. Holy shit. In my 6 years of playing this game, I have never seen Mateus that fucking full. Holy shit. Okay. We're recording. This is happening. Holy shit. Well. So I started recording at 4 o'clock. 4 a.m. Eastern, that's when the servers went live for me. And I did that intro when I got to the screen, and then I didn't get it. Okay, so when I clicked the button, I reached over and I stopped recording because there was stuff I wanted to do before I got into the MSQ. As you can see, I'm 81 now. I'll get to that in a moment. The second I stopped recording, I got error 2002. For those who don't know, error 2002, the FF14 Twitter mentioned this a couple days ago. That if you get this error, it means that there's more than 17,000 people in queue. And really the only thing you could do is wait for the server congestion to go down. I tried a couple more times and I finally got into queue. And there was... I actually recorded that. There was, like 2,300 people in queue, and in the 7 years I've been playing this game, I have never seen Mateus that full, ever. It's absolutely nuts. So I waited, and waited, and waited, while I was, because I was in queue, nothing else I could do, and then I got error 2002 again, while in queue. I think I was around queue number 700 when I got kicked. And after that, I couldn't get back in queue at all. So, yeah, I resigned to just giving up and trying again later. About 30 minutes later, at 5 o'clock, I tried a couple more times and I got back into queue. And I was at 3,200 that time. So it was like, alright, I'm gonna let this run. I hope I don't get kicked. And, I don't know, I'm gonna go watch some Netflix or something. So I hopped on to Netflix and I watched Char's Counterattack for another hour until I finally got into queue. So 1 hour to get into queue, and then 1 hour for queue to go down. And it's 7 o'clock now because there's some shit that I did beforehand. I turned in Wondrous Tales and I did some shit on my challenge log. I had most of this ready to go, but there were still a couple fates. I turned it on my leave quest. I had a couple fates that I had to do, and this, and I just feel like doing this later. I don't feel like doing dungeons now, and I don't know how iffy dungeons are right now. I do have to say, knock on wood, In the somewhat hour that I've been playing, haven't had any troubles with like lag or disconnects or anything like that. So hopefully, once you get in, things should be okay. I think. Take that with a grain of salt. We expected this to be a rough launch, due to the anticipation and how many people were just absolutely flooding the servers, but we're here, we're live, we've got shit to do. I did make a couple predictions that I wrote down in the week leading up to this, and I just want to mention them here before I actually start. And I should mention that I have not seen the launch trailer. This isn't my first expansion, so that I know the launch trailers can tend to have a few, like one big spoiler and a couple minor spoilers, and I wanted to go in completely blind. So I'm as blind as I can be. So here are the predictions I wrote down. Some are the things that I think could happen, some are the things that I want to happen, stuff like that. Something I think could happen is Fortuno pretending to be an asshole for one reason or another. I'm not, I could maybe see that being a thing. Like it's all a ploy to rile us up, maybe. But I don't have much stock in that one. Something I do have a lot of stock in, Fandaniel betraying Xenos. I still think he's using Xenos. Xenos is not the final boss. I'm almost convinced that's not going to happen. Wool using Ascian powers. I feel like that's almost guaranteed. We'll see what happens. A lot of character death. It's what's on everyone's mind, I feel. Alphino, Alize, and Graha survive. Those are my... That's... If everyone else dies but they live, I will be okay. That's basically what that is. I mean, I love the other scions. I'm going to turn down myself just a little bit. I love all the scions. I do. But, those are the three that I need to survive. I need it, or else I don't think I'd be able to handle it. Labyrinthos is a nuclear bunker. I think that's all but guaranteed. So when the world is end, that is Sharlayan's emergency plan. We cure Fandaniel's tempering if he is still tempered. I mean, theoretically, if we can cure a dragon's tempering, can we cure an Ascian's tempering? The wool is tempered. I'm not sure about that one, but maybe. Other sundered Ascians come to our aid. I think that would be really cool. If Fandaniel really is stupid crazy and he's not, hiding something, and, he's going against other sundered Ascians who are okay, this dude's gotta go, that would be pretty cool. Job quest NPCs in the MSQ, I think we all want it. Show me Frey, show me Sidirgu. Time skip at the end. Please. Just be get to the end, screen's black, then at the bottom in text it says 5 years later, and just hit me. I need to see Alphino and Alize grow up, please. They've been in a 16-year-old bodies for so long. Xenos doesn't get his rematch. That would be the most satisfying thing in the world to me. If Xenos doesn't even get to fight us. I don't want to fight him again. And that would be so amazing. Both Hydaelyn and Zodiark are gone at the end. Just gone. No more Hydaelyn, no more Zodiark. Emmett. If Emmett shows up anywhere, if Emmett is the fucking narrator, I'll take that. Mama Levier is super cool. I'm ready for it. Just the complete opposite of the father. Remember that scene in Stormblood where Lisa's hey, go check up on Alphino and Alize, and you do, and they're asleep and cuddling by a table. Yeah, if we get another scene like that, I could die happy. I want one. It was so fucking adorable. Fandaniel shows us his true personality. So think back. Laha Brea pretended to be Thancred, but then revealed his true self and his real voice. Same thing with Elidibus. You know, he pretended to be Ardbert, but then he revealed his true self. Why is Fandaniel using Asahi's voice? Right? Why is he using Asahi's personality? I always figured they were too close in personality. Sure, Fandaniel's presenting himself as a little bit more crazy, but I feel like he is just trying to slip under Xenos' radar, make him think whatever he wants to believe, and then, like, he's gonna turn on him. I feel it. Not to join us, but to, like, use Xenos for his own ends. And finally, something I very much hope is true is that I've done nothing but think about Allah's character development and his overall arc through 1.0 time period all the way up to now, and just I know where I want Allah to be at the end of this. And that, like, hinges so much on who is still alive at the end of this. So, will Allah be able to achieve his true self? Because I'll probably go into this more in detail along the way, but Allah's lore is, and his character and his story are very important to me, and, like, I have a surprising amount of it. Not all of it, but most of it. And just for a quick explanation, he grew up in religious as fuck Ishgard, so just the idea of, like, coming out as a homosexual was so daunting to him. It was one of the many reasons why he left Ishgard in the first place. And slowly, since he met Eri, you know, and since he formed a family with the Science, he's slowly been revealing his true self and his true personality and letting more of himself, you know, just be more vulnerable in front of people. And I really hope I get to finally push him just that little bit more so he can achieve his true self, which will be a bit physically different. Not Fantasia different, just physically different. So I think I've spoken enough. Main scenario quest, the next ship to sail. Holy shit, we're really doing this. Okay. Am I recording? Yep, we're recording. My voice is showing up on the thing. Let's go. Okay. Horse chest. I haven't seen any of the gear. Let's go. Oh yeah, I gotta do this in character. Hold on, give me a second to drink. Do I attempt the British accent? I don't think so. Allah. It's been a while since I've done this. Allah, do you have some time to talk? Oh, that British, it can't help, it's creeping in. Forgive me. I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's Respite to gather access to a situation in which we find ourselves. I'm just gonna roll with it. Forgive me if it's distracting. Let us take stock in the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with sudden appearance of ominous towers in multitude locations throughout the world. Oh, listen to the music! It's new music! This is music they used for the Malviera reveal. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Telephoroi. The Telephoroi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of eons past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted from primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened with Orenvold and Fodola, we need be very, very careful about how we proceed. Oh, God. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Let me try a normal voice. I think I'd be a bit more confident. Yet while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telephoroi are under the leadership of Van Daniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Yegalvis, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. Don't call him that, please. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varys, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, I saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket the ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary words spoken by did they labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Telephoroi. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way to Sharlayan. I am sure of it. Master Fortuneau's comments regarding the final days were curious, to say the least. The Forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Cryo. She says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. Oh, we're going straight away. Let's fucking go. You are to head to Limsa Lominsa and board the next ship bound to Sharlayan. The music! And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldessian, come to assist with Order's restoration. The arrangements may have been settled, but what are your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Adventure. The Quest Accept music! I haven't heard it yet. I'm so fucking kidding, Jesus. Alright. Limsa Laminsa. Let's get it! That new map thing's crazy. It's gonna take me time to get used to, but I do love it. It looks cool. Look at all these fucking people. I never thought the day would come when I would be sailing home again. It always seems so very far away. Sea travels can be tedious, but I don't mind. It is a rare experience for most Ishgardians. I shudder to think what manner of truth awaiteth us beyond the indigo deep. Still more do I dread the prospect of discussions long overdue. Contrary to what you might think, this will be like going home for me as well. I may have learned how to survive in Limsa Lominsa, but it was Sharlayan where I was taught. Quite relentlessly, I might add. The skills to properly live. Where's everyone else? There's an NPC here. Oh my god, poor Tataru. Get off of her! Get off of her! I might have lived in Master Matoya's cave for a good part of my life, but even for me, the thought of returning to Sharlayan is quite exciting. I can hardly imagine how it is for the others who have lived most of their lives there. What a grim reason to bring you to Sharlayan. Not much to be done about it, I suppose. But I would have liked to give you a grand tour under happier circumstances. Though a part of me looks forward to returning home, I've not forgotten what my father stripped us of the privileges of our family name. I hope it doesn't cause trouble with the officials upon our arrival. Tataru! Tataru, speak to me! Are you there? Everyone's here. Yeah, they are. Which is good, because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Sharlayan should be pulling into Dune. So please follow me, and have all your luggage close at hand. Oh wait, I recognize that one guy from the samurai job quest. At least I think that was him. Do I have to keep my eyes open for Easter eggs in the background?
We've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
Let's hope so. Getting into the game was hard enough.
Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian?
God, it's so fucking wild Estinian's with us, man.
Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind. Little Lord
Little
Alphinaud.
Lord Alphinaud.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Call me Oni-chan. Tataru, won't you come with
Are you
us?
all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
You're on the front of the frickin' key art for a reason. Come with us.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I know Alla would mean this with all his heart when he says this. I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise. If there's one thing I haven't nailed down, it's what Alla sounds like.
I'll hold you to that.
I know he'd be very soft-spoken, and he would have a British accent. He's from fucking Ishgard. So, I don't think I can faithfully do his voice justice.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hey! It's the boys.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return.
Have either of these two ever been officially voiced before?
We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
It's time.
It is.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn
delay.
aught of value. Wish us luck.
Oh no, the ship's not going to be ready to go for another 2 weeks. Oh no! Alright, Tataru. Stay strong. We'll be back.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
There's something ominous about this.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice.
And it's the fucking narrator!
That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end.
I was about to say there's something
Treasure
final
every
about
moment,
this.
every step of your descent.
He's still with us. Damn, it's the fucking narrator. Underwater?
And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
I'm so fucking happy, but I'm also super fucking scared. Yeah, map time. Excuse me, Mr. Dragon. Old Sharlayan, instance 1. What? Why this music here? What's going on?
Here. Feel. Think.
You think we'd be able to afford a room or something? Well, all
The day
is
has barely dawned, my
dirt
fellow
fucking
earlier
broke.
riser.
We literally slept out here.
Though we're hardly alone in that.
God, look at
Envious
them.
of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt.
I find it fucking wild that we're just out here sleeping.
Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
You could join me if you want. So much tension in these cutscenes. Is it just me? Am I being paranoid? You. Is that you, Vana? Are you actually Hydaelyn?
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think.
Been telling me this for 7 years now. Come on.
And thus do we meet face to face.
Just legit Hydaelyn. Okay.
My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
I feel underdressed. I got goosebumps. Holy shit. Oof. What would Allah say? Why now?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer.
Oh my god, this rendition of answers. Holy shit. Oh, I'm just gonna have goosebumps for hours with this fucking game.
You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Hydaelyn has always been, a primal. Zodiark was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield.
The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer... Oh, so she can't summon us into, like, the galaxy platform thing where we would talk before. Like, we're gaining powers of the crystals and whatnot.
Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms, monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
I don't know what to feel, and I don't think I'm supposed to. We're just gonna have to see how this one plays out. I certainly know Alla would be skeptical as fuck. Rise and shine, you two.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
Given the way we all slept,
And
Jesus.
a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Let me see it.
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have
They're
arisen.
hitting us with the theme already?
There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
There it is! How does it fucking work? How do fountains work? We've made it!
Home.
Oh, it's instrumental.
Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes. But we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed, 'tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Ere may not be on the screen, but he's here too.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Hit me with that title screen. Let me see it. Hit me with the title, come on. Yay! Okay, everyone breathe.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas.
Shut up, Evan's talking. How does it work?
Under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Ala Mhigan's soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
The Northern Empty Old Sharlayan. Curious name, the Northern Empty.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next, then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Undercover.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Go on.
Of course. The immigration officer
Oh, this fucking music!
Shall we?
Oh, this music's so good! Hello, little Lala friend.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it
magic
goes.
to read a book?
That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alizé Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that,
Here comes the fucking drama.
the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
It sounds like she's telling us not to stir up shit, but that's kind of what we do.
We shall keep that in mind.
So we shall.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
Artisan. Alamore, an adventurer by trade. He would never call himself the champion of Eorzea.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea. And it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter. And you, sir?
Estinian Varlino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Varlino. So his real name isn't Wormblood? Varlino. Estinian, how come you haven't told me this before? Like, in canon, in my canon, I'm pretty sure Alla would know this, but... I mean, they fucking grew up together, but... Why am... whatever.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Estinian. Come on.
If you'll allow me...
Hi, Cryle. Good to see you.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
Jesus Christ. We had less trouble walking through Kugane the first time we went there.
I have every confidence in my chosen company,
God, we're
dear
just trying
and
to get through
trusted
the
comrades
fucking
that they
front
are.
door.
But I thank you for your concern.
Oh, get ready for some bureaucracy.
Croyle! It is good to see you.
I'm very curious of how Ari would present himself there. He is, well, he comes from a very wealthy and well-known family, the one he's adopted into. Last time me and Jess talked about it, Harry is a member of the Bokairo family in Kugane. They own the Bokairo Inn, I believe.
Likewise, Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
Thank you, musical cue.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Okay, we got through con registration. We're in. Oh God. Here we are at last, the great city of Sharlayan. You may have noticed some similarities with Crystarium, yes? In fact, Oh, but we really should let Kryle have her say first. We can continue this conversation at another time. That's a conversation I want to have, though. I am accustomed to fabricating lies on demand. Why should it matter how I earn my living? That was about as awkward as expected. Still, we're here now, and that's all that matters. I'm fine, honestly. Better we be waved through the stern warning than be denied entry, after all. Even allowing that the years I spent in the first passed here in a blink of an eye, the city feels untouched by time. Oh wait, I thought that was your story. Sorry, Thancred. You are doubtless eager to take in the sights. Not to worry, Allah. The city is not like to vanish before we finish our discussion. You say that. Allow me to extend upon thee my warmest welcome, Allah. May the wisdom of my homeland aid us in our endeavors. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming into port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for details. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Oh, that's good. Old Sharlayan, new to you. Kryle sweeps the scions with a speculative look. I had thought to launch directly into the explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Alistinian's first time. Is this the acoustic guitar? It's so good! And for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit, and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetheryte Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. Where are you gonna go, Urianger? I, too, have places I would remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. Come with me! What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could... Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be a perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course. I will have you, if you will have me. Come, Allah. Sharlayan awaits. Oh dear, his enthusiasm is infectious, isn't it? So, Graha, you gonna show me around your home? After you, my friend. I am more than content to follow your lead. Grahatia is now accompanying you! Keep him at your side in order to proceed with the next quest objectives. You can leave Grahatia behind by entering different areas using the Aethernet, or by putting too much distance between you. You can also speak with Grahatia and select the option to part ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Grahatia is accompanying you, next try speaking with Cryle. Ah! He's here! Ah! Yes! Ah! Okay, I've heard things. How much control do I have here? No. Well, still. Oh well. One day it'll happen. Talk. Do not forget Mr. Cryle, our worthy guide. All set? Then let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It is a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Cafe! Start writing your fanfics! Cryle is also now accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the last stand and speak with Cryle at the designated location. If you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way, which offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Awesome! Alright, we're fucking squatted up, let's go. Come on, let's head to the cafe. It may not seem so at a glance, but the last stand is actually a very important part of the city. I'm grateful to have Cryle help in reacquainting myself with this place. It's almost as if I'm seeing it with all new eyes, as you are. Alright. A giant statue in the harbor. This path leading out towards the sea is known as Thaliak's Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thaliak was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmaticism than belief, in alignment with principles, as it were. We may have honored him with rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as that of, say, Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can, and do, worship the divinities of their choosing. Now that is a sight one could hardly forget, the great statue of Thaliak. As a student of Baldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar-wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. Okay. So it seems like a one and done. That's cool. Just gonna grab some screenshots while I'm here, folks. Don't mind me. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research in nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. As the name implies, a sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Sharlayan. The one and only bastion of culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I have ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to cheap and convenient raha. But surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Oh shit. Doesn't look like I can... Oh, this man and his poor unfortunate name. Well, that's all we'll say about that. Let us be off. The Aetheryte looks different from how I remember it. Interesting. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that this is perfectly functioning Aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of Allegan Aetheryte, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Look at that! Look at that! Market board! Right next to the fucking Aetheryte. Limsel Minsa is fucking dead. Let's go. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems that I've yet to read. Only a moment? How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. I'll return here later. Oh! Go on, Graha, grab some books, you fucking nerd. Adorkable fucking nerd. I love you. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Sharlayan. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. It's cool. Alright. I wonder if this will be before we trade in tomes. Anything worth cracking my corn pores for today, I wonder? Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes for various research institutes, but I think that practice was, thankfully, died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up on your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. Screenshot! Okay. Place is pretty. What an invigorating breeze. A touch biting, perhaps, but pleasant nonetheless. This grand structure before you is the rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Ra? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in a mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by the knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Do not feel the cold. Granted, it is not terribly chilly for the northern climes, but compared to the temperature weather of Limsa, all is from Ishgard. He's good. This neighborhood is home to the highest echelons of Sharlayan society. I never did feel comfortable enough to wander these streets on a whim. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore the Archon Nionkref built the first homes. In the present day, it serves as a residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Leveilleur. Oh boy. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly for the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below to the Aetheryte Plaza. Path below the Aetheryte. Correct. After you, Ala. Well, come on. I gotta go throw a fucking egg at the Leveilleur estate. This must be it. I feel like it has to be. Oh, you can go in. I won't quite do that yet. What you do? Just Ala throwing eggs at the Leveilleur estate. It's ridiculous how much bigger the Leveilleur estate is than all of these other homes. And these are supposed to be like super important people too. It's crazy. Right, we cross this bridge here, as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end back at the Aetherite Plaza. Sharlayan is full of educational and research institutes, but there is still professors who prefer to establish their own private practices. Not that I've ever attended the exclusive schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. And I've already grabbed that one. This is it, the Baldessian Annex. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. Ooh. Ooh. I'm back. I brought Alla and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship, then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Alla. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ooh, is it Ojika or is it Oyika? I'm gonna go with Ojika for now. Ojika Tsunjika. It has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojika Tsujika, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin, Ejika. Where? It sounds... I was about to say this motherfucker looks like someone from Eureka. Ah yes, Eureka. I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Al served as its main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Sharlayan. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the Isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty, with so many lost to us. Our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telephoroi fall. Through that door on the left, there is the main hall. We can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before the discussion begins in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more so than some cheap roadside inn. You may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as the nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Well, let's take a look. The Andron. Yeah, it does remind me of the pendants. Fancy little place, isn't it? Do you have papers posted on the walls in your room? It was not unusual for occupants to pin notes or documents and such, and then forget to take them when they went on their merry way. Sometimes it was quite deliberate. You might see complaints addressed to other members, or a thank you card for the engrossing literature someone left behind. Beloved traditions that I should know better than to dwell upon. If we are to create a future for the students of Baldesion and so many others, we must look to the days ahead. Oh, now this room is the fucking headquarters if I've ever seen one. Look at this fucking base of operations. What is that up there? Hello? What is that? Looks like floating islands in the air or something. Look at this new map. Everybody take your screenshots. There we go. Another screenshot. Okay. Let us speak. Feeling refreshed and alert? Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we?
Down to business.
Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroid's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
Are they scrambling? Maybe the reason why they're not helping us, besides their obvious bullshit of no interfering, is maybe they do know that the calamity's coming, and they are scrambling to complete Labyrinthos, to get it in working order, so that they can just fuck off and let the world burn.
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldesion. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over, mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nadana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the satrap of Rads at Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnairian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course! The more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
So is this going to be like... Alright, which one do you want to do first? I think I'm going to stick in Sharlayan because I just fucking got here. Not that I'm not eager to see Thavnair, but all the most important people in my party are here right now. Literally, Graha, Alphino, and Alize were like, we're just going to stay here for a bit.